Hi, I'm Nick and this is the TbT channel. Welcome to today's video. Now, I don't want to be the one to keep going on about the weather. I'm not that guy, but geez, last couple of days it's been 38 degrees. If you watch the last video, you'll have seen me moaning about the temperature. I did the last video in the house, it was that hot. Well, today it's only 30 degrees, about 30 degrees. Which is great, which is lovely, but you might be able to see it's a little bit overcast and it's 80% humidity. Oh my God, sweaty. Do you remember when you were at school and you're in the changing rooms after PE, you're in the changing rooms, the showers are going, you're naked, you're about to get in the shower, and the teacher comes in and says, "You boy, what are you doing in the girls' changing rooms?" It's just like that, it's bloody awful. But then I don't think my crimpling underpants are helping either. So today I'm going to be talking about, again, for the third and final time, the Snowpeak or SMK PR900S. This is the S in synthetic. It's also available as a W in wood. It is a very cheap PCP air rifle. This one I got here in France for, well, I didn't buy it, it's on loan. That's why I've done the 3 videos quite quickly, because I need to get this back down to Guns & Co, the gun shop who've kindly supplied this for me to test. Got to get it back so they can sell it to somebody. It's 195 euros new, which is 165 to 170 quid ish. Oh, it's also available as the Diana Stormrider, I think, same model, just different stencils on the side. So it comes in its box with a silencer. It will be interchangeable for something else, I'm sure, but it isn't a 1/2" UNF thread, but that is actually okay. It's got open sights fitted. It comes with a magazine and a single shot tray, which is what I have fitted here. So in the first video I showed you the gun, what you get in the box. It feels nice. It feels like it's been put together properly. It's, you know, I cannot complain. You don't pick it up and think, well, that feels cheap. It feels okay. It's surprisingly okay. In fact, it's very pointy and it's nice and everything seems to be the right size, small but substantial, if you know what I mean. So what I've done today, off camera, before I started this, because you didn't want to see me earlier. I've just been under a cold shower just to get me ready for 10 minutes of this, you know. I did a shot string this morning. I wish I hadn't done that. I thought I'll see how many shots I get. So I started off at 998 foot-pounds, and within 12 shots it was down below 980, and it just carried on going down and down and down and down, and that was silly. It's actually too powerful for here, because the limit here is lower than that. That was running at about 18 foot-pounds. It wanted to be about 16. So I thought, well, I know what, I'll have a fiddle with the reg. You know, when you think things like that and you think that'll be a good idea. I do springs, I don't do PCPs often. So the first time I took the reg out and adjusted it, rookie error, I turned it the wrong way, only half a turn. You don't want to turn it much, only half a turn. 177 pellets going supersonic. Then I'll give out a crack. So that came apart again quite quickly, and then half a turn again. It's now doing about 880 to 890 feet a second, and I got 20 something shots. Wait for the motorbike to go by. It's a 50cc, it will take a while. 20 odd shots between 890 and 880 feet a second, and then it petered on down from there as it came off the reg, and that was at, I think that's 14.5 foot-pounds, so legal here. Still too powerful for the UK. I'm sure you're going to get over 30 shots sub 12, and I'm sure if you take your time balancing the hammer with the regulator, you're going to actually get a really good shot count for the size and weight of it, as well as consistency. Just tweaking it, the consistency is good. I cannot complain at that at all. So that was that. and that was lovely, but that took me a few hours, so that's left me with less time and less inclination to sit in nattering on for ages. So I thought we'll do a little bit of an accuracy test before I have to take it back tomorrow morning. So I put a scope on it. Thank you for all the suggestions for the different scopes to try on this. And they were all good suggestions. But what it came down to at the end of the day was my 2 to 7 by 32 is on my HW30. And if you've seen the HW30 video, that is like a laser at the moment. So I'm disinclined to remove that from the gun. So I got my little Optima Gamekeeper. Now I use this one because it was on my Heaper ship BSA Lightning, which is still not behaving. It's oh, what a tragedy that gun is. Not just that one, all of them, all BSA Lightnings, Super Sports, Meteors, they're a tragedy. They're a travesty. They're an insult to it. No, I'm not going to rant about that. I've had a bad time with that gun. So I took the scope off of it and put it on here. It's beautiful, it's lovely, it suits it. Look at that. Even with a scope on, this weighs in at less than 2.5 kilograms, which is probably about 5 pounds. Less than 2.5 kilograms. And that's amazing. What isn't amazing is my rose tinted glasses. I'm trying to use a 1 to 4, is it 1.5 to 4 by 16 scope on a modern PCP with my eyes at 42 meters, the range from there to there in the garden here. That's my standard test bench, as it were, for accuracy testing. Yeah, 42 meters with a 4 times standard crosshair, standard 30-30 reticle that pretty much obliterated the target. So you'll see the results in a minute. That was okay. That was okay. Not the best scope, but I think what it does is show the possibilities this gun can do. So I was using the single shot tray. Like I say, it does come with a magazine. I'm not a fan of magazines in air guns, really. I'm not. I prefer a single shot tray. I don't know, I think it makes me concentrate on the shot more, perhaps. And I was using Diablo Fields. And these are 4.52s, 8.4 grain 177 pellets. You know, if you're gonna start testing, usually these and exacts are what you start testing with. So that's why I use those. So shooting at 42 meters, I was shooting at my standard, it's a 2.2 bench rest target. And the crosshairs at 42 meters obliterated those. So there's a lot of guesstimation going on in this. But there's my 10 shots. Can we get it so you can see my 10 shots there at the bottom here? Now I'll put my finger next to it for scale. You'll see most of the group is in that part there. Okay, so that's pretty much thumbnail size with a couple down from it. I'm going to go ahead and say it's probably the fact that I couldn't see the target as well and I was just basically blocking it out with the reticle. I think if I'd put a more expensive fine reticled high zoom scope on this, I'd got an awful lot better result. But what I thought was, my thinking was, if you're spending 195 euros, or I think they're actually 195 pounds in the UK for various reasons, 195 pounds on a gun, you're probably going to be getting a pretty basic scope. And rather than buying a cheap 3 to 12 by 45 or things like that, most people would be better off buying a decent 4 by 40 or 6 by 40. So it's not too different to a basic 30-40 quid scope that somebody might want to put on here. And if I'm honest with myself and throw away my rose tinted glasses and all my nostalgia trip stuff, a modern 30 quid fixed 4 by 40 or 6 by 40 scope is probably going to perform better in actual real life than this. This might have fancy glass and stuff like that, but it's tiny. So putting a decent 4 by 40 on this, I'm sure you would get a ragged group that's pretty much one hole at 42 meters. And for that kind of money, 165 pounds, 195 euros, again, I think they're 195 pounds in the UK, but what do you want for that much? It is absolutely brilliant. If these had been available when I was a kid, I would have thought if I could have got that accuracy at 42 metres, I just couldn't, you know. Hitting tin cans at 42 metres occasionally, most of the time maybe, if I'm generous to myself, that was enough, that was good. So really it's come on leaps and bounds since then. And what you can get for your money. Also, I will mention, I was filling it up using my GX CX3, I think it is, compressor. You'll see, if you look in the history, you'll see the thing on that. Because I've had the regulator out several times today, tweaking it, taking it apart, tweaking it, it's been filling this up, going flat, filling this up, letting all the air out, filling it up, letting all the air out, again and again and again. In this heat, in this humidity, that little wet pack thing I got, the little filter thing, absolutely doing a cracking job. And it fills this gun from empty to full in less than, I think it's less than 3 minutes, 2 minutes something. Absolutely incredible. So there you have it. And that's all I've really got to say on this gun. It's a cheap PCP that doesn't throw the pellets around all over the shop. It puts them all pretty much in the right place on the target, even with me driving in a stupid 1980s scope on top of it. With decent power levels. Like I say, this is running for here, for the power levels here. In the UK, it's going to do UK power levels brilliantly. It's just going to mean you get more shots out of it. And if you're getting 30 shots on the regulator, that's an ideal hunting gun. You don't need a high capacity when you're walking around the fields. I've said this before, you go and walking rabbit shooting and something like that. How many rabbits can you realistically carry? You know, if when I went to armed rambling, in places where I had permission, obviously, but armed rambling, if I fired half a dozen shots, I'd be lucky. You know, most of the time I was just mooching around the hedgerows on the off chance that something would be about. And I think this would be the perfect gun for that. Other things to consider against this. CO2 guns, don't. CO2 is great for plenking. It is not a suitable hunting thing in my opinion, because the difference between high temperature and low temperature, I went over this in my thermal thing with the Crossman 2240 XL last week. So I don't actually know of any actual PCPs that come close to this on value. But then again, I'm not really into PCP, so what am I missing out on? Leave comments below on what things would compare to this, or if you've tried something that should compare to this and didn't, because I'm always looking for new things to test. But that's it, very short video today, and I'm going to get inside and get in a cold shower. Please like, subscribe, hit notifications. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.